Hey, hello and welcome. Today's story is about why the vegan lifestyles is the new normal, and we actually found out in this report, the annual food report that just came out. And Victoria, there are a few things that this one says about vegetarianism. Is that how you say it?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Vegetarianism.
So one thing that really comes across is that vegetarian sort of lifestyles, that's the new normal. That's really a big trend. Why do you think it is so?
I mean, there are plenty of factors why that is a trend. I mean, we have the environment, we have the health, we have the well-being of animals, and I think all combined makes great arguments why we should eat and consume less animal products.
What I think is so interesting with this report, if you sort of deep dive into the facts and figures, is that actually some people lie about being vegetarian. They just say they're vegetarians and really they're meat eaters, but they want to somehow come across as a vegetarian. Why?
Yeah, but I believe, we live in a society now that we are what we share. So obviously you don't want to be a person that doesn't take care of the environment, that doesn't care about other people, their health, animals, all of this. So obviously you would not put out a selfie, most probably, about you and like a nice steak. Maybe you would, but I would not.
I do, I admit I do. I'm thinking about my Instagram account right now. From this summer, a few meat
At the
selfies.
barbecue.
Yeah. So that's not okay anymore, or?
I mean, it's a little bit frowned upon, I assume, and by eating meat, then you're probably put into that category of people that don't care about the environment, because not eating animal products, again, is the largest or most impactful thing you can do to save our planet. So, I mean, just skip the klimatångest, as we say in Sweden.
But why this thing about being a vegetarian? Why? I mean, the most popular dish this year in this report, it's a vegetarian dish.
Great.
Yeah, but still, it's only 5% that actually are vegetarians. But still, it's such a hype around it. Is it something else underlying? Why is vegetarianism so hot right now?
I mean, as we touch upon those the topics, like that's the main way to fight and be more conscious. It's a spiritual movement as well. It's an environmental movement. It's to help the animals. All of these things where the consumer is more conscious about their choices, and we know what the impact is of consuming these products. And I think everybody wants to be part of that change, but it's more difficult to actually do. The actual doing of being vegan and vegetarian, it's a big dedication, and it's more difficult to do than to just post a salad from your lunch, be like, ooh, vegan, click. I don't know, I'm just thinking of ideas, but
I mean, if you look at the data, 5% are vegetarians. I mean, vegans, that even less. That's probably 1%. But we did a little bit of research. We checked hashtags, and we looked at the hashtag meat lifestyle. Not your favorite hashtag, maybe?
Probably not, no.
I wouldn't see that in your Insta flow.
Oh, no.
But you know how many hits we got? We got 387 million hits. It's a lot of hits, but I'm not surprised because 95% of consumers actually eat meat. And I have to confess, I'm one of them.
we know.
I love a juicy steak sometimes. Does it make me a bad person, Victoria?
I mean, it doesn't make you the most enlightened person, probably.
I feel super enlightened.
It's up to discussion, I think.
Yeah.
But what was the other hashtag, Richard?
It was vegan lifestyles, and you know how many hits we got? Well, of course you know, Victoria, but I'm gonna tell you. We got 1,510,000,000 hits. That's more than 4 times as many as meat lifestyle. Still, much less people are actually vegetarians. So to me, it says to me, people want to come across. They want to brag about something. I've had a salad, I'm taking a picture. And
not brag, but maybe people understand the intellectual motives behind not eating animal products. But the actual urge to eat them and the satisfaction is probably driving over those intellectual thoughts, right? So in order to align with what consumers really feel like, oh, I really wish I was one of those people that could quit animal products and I want to help the environment and I want to be empathetic to animals.
Yeah.
Like, where can we, as business owners and entrepreneurs, help them to align their thoughts with their feelings?
Let's come back to that later.
Okay.
I just want to sort of dream a little bit into the future. What's going to happen?
Dreaming.
Yeah, but what's
Sure.
going to happen if we take this further? I mean, now it's like, okay, right now I'm actually thinking about my, like I said, my Instagram account. I need to erase large parts of the summer's.
So you can be one of the people that lie about what you eat.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I eat meat, but I'm not going to display the whole
The whole bonanza.
the whole
Right,
truth.
we get
No.
it, we get it.
Anyway, so I predict that meat is going to go from today, like a guilty pleasure, like it is today, into the shadow land, into sort of forbidden fruits. And this is going to be exactly like what happened to tobacco. You know, first it was like something everybody did. They were smoking, like in the movies. Then it sort of turned into a a guilty pleasure. People knew it wasn't so good. And then government started taxing it, forbidding it, and now it's sort of almost banned. And that's going to be the same sort of route. That's what's going to happen to meat, the same thing.
We
So
hope so.
I predict there will be, before it's actually forbidden, I think the last sort of steak, the last juicy steak, is going to be consumed in some kind of hedonistic ritual by Elton John or someone. And it's
know
going to
about
be
that.
so good. It's going to taste amazingly good.
No.
And then I also predict that there will be like red light districts in cities where there will be like licensed sort of no brand, no sign, nothing, like outlets where you...
Or like a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you want to get this steak?
No, maybe not before, yeah, but before it's forbidden, probably it's just going to be like, we don't talk about it, but some people still eat meat. And it's okay on special occasions. Maybe you get like a permit to eat meat once every 6 months or something like that. Anyway, in these districts, like almost like red light districts, there will be restaurants where you can actually eat meat. And people will go there with trench coats, shades, baseball caps, and hope no one will see them. And I have to admit, I'm going to be one of those persons. But it's a journey. I'm on this journey. I
Good.
know.
We're going to make you vegan, Richard.
Yeah,
That's my journey
maybe
with
it's
him.
never going to happen, but small baby steps is what I'm going to take. And I'm taking that as we speak.
Yes,
actually.
I know.
Yeah.
You go, Richard. Take
Yeah,
those baby steps.
I will, I promise you. But if you look at the sort of commercial opportunities here,
Okay, so we're back to that. Good.
yes. What do you think, Victoria?
I think that, okay, so we look at the trend, veggies are going to be its focus. So what and in what way, or like how and in what way can we present vegetables in different ways? You were talking about a vegetable butcher. How do we put vegetables in the center? What kind of restaurants? Like, how do you create a story around your restaurant if you're only doing everything vegan or vegetarian? What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be a mental shift in consumers when they think about their food planning.
Sure.
Like today, most people, 95% of people, actually think about the protein, the meat. What are we going to have for dinner tonight? Well, we're going to have chicken, we're going to have meat. You plan around the meat. But tomorrow, food planning will have a new mental starting point, like, oh, we're going to have a cauliflower tonight. What should we have with the cauliflower? So it's going to be a shift.
Yeah, for some people that shift has already happened.
Yeah, it's not happened to me yet. But anyway, that's going to affect, I think, how restaurants display on their menu, how stores display what they have, in what order you see things when you shop.
Sure.
And I also, the second sort of thing that's going to happen is, I call it curated veggie shopping. You mentioned it a little bit, but it's going to be like, you know, today when you shop for meat, you can go to a counter, a service counter, and you discuss cuts of meat. That is going to be very common when it comes to veggies, like an aubergine or something.
Yeah, zucchini, aubergine,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. The
You can
world
have
is your
different-
oyster, Richard.
yeah.
Any vegetables you can have.
Fantastic. So I'm going to ask for special cuts of this zucchini, for example.
Sure.
And also probably advice on how to cook it, because isn't that one of the problems or challenges if you do a shift like this? Because if you look at all the recipes, they're based on another way of thinking where
Yeah.
you sort of center it around meat.
So in my personal opinion is that once you start focusing vegetables as the main dish,
Yeah.
then seasoning comes into play. So,
Like spices.
yeah, spices, herbs, and how to create a lot of flavors using like cauliflower, zucchini, things that don't inherently taste so much. I mean, if you cook just a fish or a piece of steak, it will taste. You don't have to add a lot, maybe salt and pepper. But to cook, let's say, then a cauliflower, you need maybe like a little bit of extra knowledge about how to use spices and herbs. And I think that shift is something also where we can help our consumers. So people want to help the environment, they want to help animals, they want to be healthier.
Yes.
And then how do we enable that for them? So like, oh, okay, let's cook cauliflower and like add these spices or do this, or how do we package that so that people have an easier way to follow their actual intuition and their feelings rather than, oh, I don't know what to cook, I'm just going to get the chicken.
Here is probably one of the challenges or opportunities, if you think about commercial opportunities. Meat, actually, as you said, it tastes a lot. It tastes actually great. But there will be a lot of innovation in food production. So there will be so much demand for great tasting non-meat products. And I think in the beginning, it's going to be like you have to use the old metaphor to understand the new. So it's going to be like, okay, substitute to minced meat. So it's going to be like, already you can get that, like minced meat,
Beyond
vegan.
meat, kind of any kind of soya products, all this
But the
stuff.
next level of that is going to be like, no, minced meat? People don't even remember what it is. So it's going to be new concepts around food that are based on vegan and the characteristics of that.
Yeah.
So the first stage is going to be like minced meat, a bit like, in the sort of when the airplanes first came.
I don't remember that, but
okay.
please tell me.
I do. Thank you so much, Victoria, for reminding me of that. Anyway, if you look at airplanes, they are actually mimicking ships. So that's why, because that was a way to understand something new. So it looks like these sort of Atlantic ships. You have the same.
Yeah, I see what you
you
mean.
call it the same, like Stuart. They look the same, and I think that's the way how you understand something new. So that's why the first, where we are right now, it's like meat substitutes.
Sure.
But then it's going to be completely new dishes and recipes. I actually bought a cookbook a while ago to a friend, a vegetarian cookbook.
Okay.
So that's a baby step for me. I'm not going to cook it
Big
myself.
step. Big step for you.
Yeah. So 3 things that we think are sort of commercial opportunities. And one other thing that's interesting to think about is what's odd today and what's normal yesterday. And milk, actually, it's...
Yeah, who drinks milk?
Yeah, well,
You're
I
like
do.
you do.
I do. I love milk, but it's like odd when I go to the coffee shop here next to our office, and I want to do. Can you please give me some real milk? And she looks at me and says, "Oh, you mean from a cow?" So that's like odd. It was just a few years ago.
But why wouldn't you drink alternative milk? Alternative milk is better for the environment, better for your body, and like better and kinder towards animals.
I agree with
there is
you.
no reason why you should ever need to drink milk.
I actually like
At
the
least in the
taste
coffee.
of real milk.
Yeah.
So it's just about taste to me. But this oatmeal, what's it called? The brand is Oatly.
Oatly?
Swedish, amazing, success story about actually an innovation in products. That has become the new normal and sort of what's normal today.
At least in Stockholm.
Yeah, but maybe more and more all over the world. So people actually don't drink milk. So that's odd today. Okay, well, to sum it up, Victoria, what kind of advice would you give to someone's out there? Maybe you own a customer experience, maybe you have a restaurant, maybe you have a shop, maybe somehow you're thinking, how can I sort of gain advantages of this big trend that is happening right now? What's your advice?
Well,
there?
my personal advice is don't hold on to old beliefs and old stigmas. I think you should join the revolution and plant-based.
Join the revolution.
Join the revolution. I mean,
Yes.
like plant-based is a way of life. It's a fact that everybody's moving towards a plant-based diet. And I think that just being open-minded and innovative in that area, not holding on to like, oh, but we've always done this, we should always do it this way. No, that is the old way and that has not worked for humanity. So join the revolution and embrace change.
And the revolution, what is that about? Because it's really not only about vegetarianism, is it? It's about being and acting more sustainably.
Sustainably
As
and
a
consciously.
consumer,
And as a
yeah.
consumer, like everybody's more conscious about how they're consuming and the lifespan, the impact, the environmental impact on what you're
Yes.
buying. So I think that the consumer is way more conscious now, and you as a business owner need to embrace that. And the consumer also has so much information. They could Google anything and get to the root of what they're actually getting.
And they're sort of voting with their wallets.
Yes. So
With
I
their
think
e-wallets.
Yeah, with their e-wallets.
Yeah.
So join the revolution of plants and veggies, Richard.
I am. Baby steps, baby steps. But Victoria, so that's me, Richard, and you, Victoria,
That is
signing
me,
off
Victoria.
for today's sort of news flash from the barricades of retail's revolution. And Victoria, do you know what we have cooking for the next episode?
No, you tell me.
Something completely different. So please join us then. Until then, see ya!
Hej då.
Gick det bra?